Hello, and welcome to the final episode of Deepen with Christina. I know, crazy, right? I am recording from my bed. It is 1 a.m. on Tuesday in August of 2026, and about to make a big transition. But before I tell you about that transition, in case you are listening to this pre-August 22nd, 23rd, and you're around in the Austin, Texas area, we are hosting WeDeepen In-Person. It is a 2-day workshop to get even better at love. You will experience live love coaching in person. People take the hot seat, maybe you take the hot seat, as well as receive tools, technology, transmissions for having an extraordinary love life. We are going through phenomenal changes right now, and that is a good thing because the current paradigm of love isn't working. People are unsatisfied at love, and we haven't yet learned, for the most of us, how to do love right. Our educational curriculums neglected the subject. Most people didn't grow up observing healthy relationships. And so we're spiraling and swirling. How do we get this? How do we get love right? I often think of how in the West, fitness became popular in the 70s and 80s, and then yoga, meditation, late 2000s, or early 2000s, late 1990s, and then biohacking, 2010. It's cute that the biohacking conference has rebranded this year to Beyond Biohacking because I like to say, beyond biohacking, love is the next frontier. And it's vulnerable being me because I'm leading this movement with this intention to unite the relationship industry, and I'm figuring out my love life too. I don't have all the answers. Our coaches who get up and share with you, even the people that you see who are famous on Instagram, Jillian Talackley, Esther Perel, John Gray, these human beings are also figuring out their love lives too. And there is nothing for me that I find more rewarding than coming together in person and having dynamic conversations and actually letting the neural pathways in the mind start to rewire so you can do love differently. You may have heard me speak about the 4 pillars of a conscious relationship often. Number 1, no attachment to outcome, growth comes first. 2, both parties agree to own their own shit. 3, all feelings are welcome, no internal process is condemned. And 4, the relationship is a place to practice love. And even right now, I don't love doing solo podcasts. And also, you might be listening to this and be thinking, you want to launch a podcast yourself, or you have a mission, there's something that you want to birth through your system, and maybe it is uncomfortable. Love is uncomfortable. I heard somebody share with me, fear of uncomfortable. And that's what we all feel so much these days, feeling the uncomfortable. What is uncomfortable? Not liking discomfort, running from discomfort. And I used to think, I still believe magic happens outside of your comfort zone, but I'm no longer interested in being outside of my comfort zone or stepping outside of my comfort zone. I want to expand my range. And this is an invitation for you to expand your range as well. And that's what happens when you join us in We Deepen. So this is the final episode of Deepen with Christina, because the new one that's coming is Mastering Love with Christina Weber, because I'm going through transition too. Evolution is real and we're evolving. The spiral up is happening. That's the wheel of fortune. And some people may be spiraling down. You may feel like you're spiraling down. And I will tell you, when you go to places where people are there to catch you, but you have to keep coming again and again and again. Bonds build best over time. And so surrounding yourself with the people who are willing to move through the uncomfortable themselves and then do it with you. That's why I'm so excited about this idea of uniting the relationship industry, because I think if anybody can evolve humanity, support humanity to its next evolution, it's going to be those who are well studied and well practiced in love. And this is an invitation to you to join us for that. I don't believe there's one teacher, one modality, one system. Your intimacy journey is your life story, and you get to explore, move through, go on the adventure of life. And that's what this invitation is to. I was recently at a friend's place, and she used to own pole studios, dance studios in Los Angeles. She was one of the first to own pole studios. And in her new house, she has a studio with 2 poles. I was over there dancing, and I studied S Factor in New York City back in like 2007, 2008, 2009, went to level 3, but I haven't been pole dancing in over a decade consistently. And what gets rusty first is your transitions. And you can always tell somebody who's a seasoned dancer based upon their transitions, because they can make a transition look like it's part of the dance. But those of us who are unseasoned at pole, or not amateurs, not doing it often, you'll see it looks a little bit clunky as we make those transitions. And it got me thinking about life too. As we move through relationship, when we lose our center and come back to ourself, and that journey sometimes of coming back to self, it's moving through that transition when you leave a job, move to a new house, have kids, your kids become empty nesters. You're moving through these transitions, and there's uncertainty in transition. But life is full of uncertainty. And it's having certainty in the uncertainty. So have certainty in the uncertainty. Because when you're putting effort towards a goal, and that goal is being healthy, having a positive mindset, doing the things that you're supposed to do, caring about others, being embodied, being out in nature, becoming more and more authentically you moment by moment, removing the conditions, the negativity, the things that are holding you back from being the highest, greatest version of yourself. That is a lifelong transition that you're going to keep moving through. And I'm in it with you. This past year for me was one of the hardest years of my life. The grief, and I still keep feeling that grief. Just moments ago, I was tapping back into my previous relationship and all the pain and wounds that I have gathered from that experience. And I'm in a place of considering stepping into the arena, I guess I'll say the arena, in a conversation with him to come into right relations, back into a state of friendship and harmony, and heal that dynamic. And in preparing for that, I'm moving through some sadness, some excitement, and also getting more clear on my truth, my desires. And I ask you, what are your desires? What's your truth? What do you really want when it comes to love? If you're dating, like, how do you come more into right relations with what you truly want? Choosing long-term fulfillment over instant gratification. What does it mean? What does that mean to choose long-term fulfillment over instant gratification? So if you have a vision for what you want in your life and, a quick fix comes along, something to cope, to numb you out, or to hold you over, are you choosing that? Or do you have your eye on the ball? Because the middle phase, where you're putting your effort in, you're growing through that period of time. But again, that's where, in the uncomfortability, that's where the expansion, the true expansion happens. I mentioned that this year, it's been one of the hardest years ever, and I moved through a lot of grief. And also, I am so much more myself having moved through that grief than ever before. Stronger, more confident. My business, WeDeepen, is expanding. These stories of members and how being in the Love Club has positively impacted their lives. Those connections that are forming, the nuggets of wisdom they're tapping into. Thank goodness I've had the time to lead that and haven't been swirling, being drained in a relationship that isn't nourishing my soul. In reality transurfing, if you're not familiar with reality transurfing, another reason to come inside Love Club on September 19th through the 20th. Again, this is 2026. If you're listening to this, we will be doing another WeDeepen In-Person. And that one is going to have a segment on reality transurfing. Definitely come both weekends. And it's all leading up to the Big Bang, the Love Immersion, our 8th Love Immersion, October 17th through the 19th. And that is the signature mastermind for your love life. But that September event, we're going to be doing a segment on reality transurfing, which is where you slide to a new timeline. And before you can slide to a new timeline, you must remove any negative pendulums. What's a negative pendulum? Anywhere in your life that's draining you, that is limiting possibilities for you. A group think, it's interesting, we run groups, but I'm very highly attuned. Again, this is why there's no one teacher, no one modality, no gurus here. It's getting to journey through them with a reputation system built around that. And so any group think that we throw out there is it's definitely always something for you to try out. There is no this way or one way. There's a variety of ways to experience your life. And aliveness. A practice, though, is being unoffendable. So someone can have a particular belief system that may not be yours, but you're not offended by their belief system. There's in the book, The Courage to Be Disliked, great book. And in The Courage to Be Disliked, he talks about how we each have our own task, and you don't own anybody else's task. It's their task. So you don't need to be offended by someone else's journey, what they're up to. Our relationships are free will experiences. You can always move away or choose to ignore. Just don't let it drain you. Especially, don't be one of those people who's on social media trolling other people's accounts to bully them in some way. Shut it off. Come back to your center, your life. Your life is the most important life. You are the star. You're the main character. You might be listening to this podcast and hearing Christina Weber speak right now, but this is about you. Whatever I say and what you take in, if you're judging in any way, this is all bits and pieces of information for you and your highest. There's a superstar inside of you. There's a superstar in each of us. I believe that every archetype of every individual lives inside of each of us. We are all essentially a universe. And how cool is it that we get to come and be universes together? So yes, closing episode of Deepen with Christina. What a wild ride. This first podcast, or the first podcast I launched, was Your Love Accomplice. Then Deepen with Christina. I did take some time off with Deepen with Christina because I got into a relationship. And in that relationship, I was traveling all over the place with my significant other. And the podcast got put on hold because to travel around with him, to be focused on growing my business, to be running Love Immersions and Love Club, the podcast on top of that was too much, and that was something that went. And that's okay. Because now this chapter is coming to completion. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me, with WeDeepen, with being a part of WeDeepen. Because up next, we're mastering love. Main focal point. And I'm so excited to share that journey with you. That show is going to be dropped into the same feed. So if you have enjoyed Deepen with Christina, please do like, follow, give me a little celebration note in the comments. That would be so fun for me to hear, because it is so vulnerable for me. I'm a highly sensitive person. To be putting out this podcast and sharing my truth and my heart with you, and being open for judgment, and that's okay. I learned from that. Give me some feedback, constructive criticism. I did do that reality TV show X-Rated with Andy Cohen, where I had 3 of my exes come in and rate me, so I'm okay with that. It's still on the Peacock Network if you want to see that show. Go to WeDeepen.com. See the upcoming experiences. Come get a pulse check on how everyone else is doing in their love life. And come share with us how you're doing. Let's work through the kinks, evolve and grow together. Until Mastering Love with Christina Weber, enjoy, and thank you so much. Mwah.